Hello everyone, it's that time again. Time for another test, and that means another test review. And this video is going to be the answer key with me working out every single question. So print your review, have it with you, follow along, and you should do really well. Oh, before we start, here's a mind-blowing concept. Okay? If you're struggling and you're making about 50s or 60s on a test and you're really looking forward to making a B, possibly even an A, and do really well, how do you do well on a test? Do the review, do the review, do the review, and do the review. I can only recommend that. Okay, there's a huge correlation between people who do the test review, honestly do the test review, and then take the test. So please do the test review. It's designed to be almost exactly like the test, and it's great preparation the day before. Look at how I work through everything. You may not always get the chance to come to a tutorial or ask me one-on-one questions, but you can watch me on the screen working out every single question. So here we go, let's start. One of the topics that's going to be on your test is percent of change. Here's a couple of questions dealing with percent of change. Number one, last year 762 students voted in the student council election at San Bruno Middle School. This year 721 students voted. What was the percent of decrease in the number of students that voted to the nearest tenth? Let's label a few things first. Last year 762 students voted, so this was original amount. Original. Okay, and this year 721 students voted, so this is the new number for the latest year. So we've got original and we have new. I'm going to show you maybe possibly another simpler way how to do these percent of change questions. You got to label each number as either original or new, and it's obvious which one is which. Okay, what was the percent of decrease? We can tell that it did go down. It went from 762 to 721. We could just subtract and figure out, but we don't need to know how many students it went down by. We're being asked what percent did it go down by. So we're going to pull out that formula. Percent of change equals, and I want you to write this down if you didn't have it before, difference between the two. So difference goes on the top, and it's a fraction over original. Original. Okay, maybe a much simpler way. Percent of change equals difference over original. So let's figure out those two numbers. What is the difference? I don't care. Just put the big number in front and just subtract. 762 minus 721. 762 minus 721. That's a difference of 41. So that's the difference on the top, 41. And the original amount was the 762. All you have to do is divide 41 divided by 762 to get your answer. If you work that out, that comes out to 0.053, and on, actually that decimal goes. But we can stop it right here, and once we have the decimal, we can change a decimal to a percent. Remember, how do you do that? By moving the decimal over 2 spots to the right, and so this becomes 5.3%. It is a 5.3% decrease from the year before. All right, that's your answer. Let's do that exact same thing for number 2. At the start of every school year, Maria recorded her height. What was the percent increase in her height between 3rd and 5th grade? So we have a table with 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. But we actually don't need every single row. We need to just focus on 3rd grade and 5th grade, as they say. So we want the difference between these two grade years. Let's write that formula again. Percent equals, percent of increase or decrease equals difference on the top, original number at the bottom. Okay, so what is the difference between 5th grade and 3rd grade? 42 minus 39, that's 40, 41, 42. That's a difference of 3. And the original amount, the original would be the first number, so it's 39. And we just divide to figure this out. So if you divide 3 divided by 39, you are going to get 0.076. We can round that to 0.08, and that is roughly 8%. There you go. So this is the topic of percent of change. There's going to be, I would say, two or three questions regarding this topic on your test. And they're going to be exactly like this. And guys, remember, you get to use your review as a reference on the test. If you have all of this copied down, all these steps and all the work, you have it right next to you while taking the test. Okay, how simple is that? Next topic that's going to be on the test is taxes, tips, and discounts. So before we even dive into those, you need to be really familiar, I told you, with the skill of converting from percents to decimals. Here's some practice. How do you convert from percents to decimals? You take this decimal right here and you move it 2 spots to the left. In the gap, you're going to put a 0. And so this has turned into 0.083. Now do that for all the rest of them and then compare with what I get. The next one. Take the decimal, move it 2 spots to the left, 0 in the gap. So this is going to be 0.075. We don't need the 0 at the end. Okay, what if there's no decimal, like in this 3% here? Technically there is, it's just like an invisible decimal. It's the decimal right after the 3 because it's a whole number. Again, we still move it 2 spots over, put a 0 in the gap. This is 0.03. This one's going to be 0.15. This one's going to be 0.0615. Okay, I would keep this handy. Maybe on your test you're going to see possibly some of these exact percents, and you might already have this. But the rule is basically from going from percents to decimals, you're going to move the decimal 2 to the left. That's the rule. All right, let's apply that on number 4. Rebecca's DoorDash order came out to $28. She decides to tip the driver 12%. What will the overall cost, meaning the total, of her order be? Okay, so this is a question regarding tips. You had notes that tell you the exact steps that you need to do. The first step was to change this percent. 12% of the tip needs to be changed to a decimal, and that is 0.12. That's step 1. Step 1. Step 2 is to multiply that $28 times 0.12. Right? We need to get the dollar amount of the tip. So that's going to be, I'll work out this long multiplication with you. 16, 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5, 0, 8, 2, add everything. Oops, I'm running out of room. 6. Okay, that says 336, and I need to put a decimal. The decimal would go right here between the 3's, and that is $3.36. Sorry if I'm running out of room. I'll bring it up here. So the tip amount is $3.36. That's not our answer, and that's because that's not what's being asked. We're being asked what will the overall cost of her whole DoorDash order be. So it has to be food plus tip. Remember, a tip is something that's added. So that's going to be our step 3, which is to add $28. I need to put zeros so I can line up decimals. $3.36 of the tip. Add this. So her total cost, her whole order is going to be $31.36. That's how you do these. You would use the same steps for a tax question as well. All right, number 5, we're going to do discounts this time. So follow close attention because this one's going to be multi-steps, and there's going to be a test question that's very similar to this. Zachary is buying 4 tires for his car. The table shows the prices and sales at 4 different stores. At which store will Zachary get the lowest price on 4 tires? A lot of times this happens in real life. You need something and you have many options, different shops to pick from. You have Firestone. What else? Can't think of another. Firestone, Jiffy Lube, Walmart, whatever. There's so many shops and you've got to pick the best price, the best deal. And so we're going to kind of do an example with that. So there's store R, S, T, and V, and they have different deals and discounts going on. So let's look at the first row. Store R, the price per tire is $150, but then they have a deal of buy 3, get the 4th free. So let's see what his cost would come out at this store. So buy 3 and get the 4th free. So 150 each times 3. That's going to cost him $450. And because it's going to cost him $450 total because he's going to buy 3 and that 4th one is free. So that's going to be the cost at R. Let's do the cost at store S. Their deal is buy 4 and receive $70 off the price of each tire. Okay. If you buy 4, you get $70 off of each. So this $200 per tire, that's actually not the real cost. It would be 200 minus 70. 200 minus 70, which is 130. Actually, it's 130 each if you buy 4. So let's see how many 4 would cost. 130 times 4. 0, 12, 4 plus 1 is 5. 520. Okay, so this is not as good of a deal already as the previous store. So we can kind of cross out this as an answer choice. We know the answer is not going to be store S. All right, let's move on. Let's try store T. Their deal is buy 4 tires and receive $200 off the total price. Okay, so we buy 4 tires at this price, 175 times 4. Whatever we get, we're going to take off 200. So let's try that one out. 175 times 4. 20. 7 times 4 is 28, plus 2 is 30. And then 4 times 1 times 4 is 4. Plus 3 is 7. So it comes out to 700, but then remember they get $200 off. So that's 500. Still not the best deal. Still not the best option because number 1 is still in first place. So our last possibility is going to be this one. Store V. The price per tire is 130. Buy 4 tires and receive 10% off the total price. So buy 4 times 4. 130 times 4. That's going to be think I did that right. 0, 12, 4, okay, 520. So buy 4 and receive 10% off. So I need to do 10% off of that. 520 times 10%. 10%. And actually I can take off 10% is 0.1, 2, 5. So I can take off $52 because 10% is $52. So let me take off, I need to do 520 minus $52. And technically I don't need these zeros. Let me borrow. That's 8. 6, 4. Okay, so this comes out to 468. Okay, so look at all 4 options. What is the best deal, cheapest price, lowest price? That's going to be store R. Because using their deal, your total comes out to 450. So that's how you work through when you're comparing different discounts. All right, switching gears. Similar figures. We are going to throw in 1 or 2 similar figures questions because it was a previous topic and I still don't feel that people have completely mastered it. I've seen several different problems with this on your previous test. So these are 2 similar triangles. They're obviously not facing the exact same way, but remember you're supposed to color code. This is the long side or the base that matches up with that. Little short side, those match up, and the medium length side, those match up. So kind of picture the other one turned around. And we're solving for B, which is right here. We need to set up proportions. Let's pick matching sides. So the 9 and the 3 go together, so they're going to be 1 fraction. And we need to find B. What matches with B? That would be the 5. So B, oops, my bad. The 9 and the 3. You can also see that there is a pattern of dividing by 3. Okay, so the 9 and 3 match. I'm actually going to put them across from each other, 9 to 3. And then B matches with 5. You do see a pattern of, well, it depends on which direction you go, either times 3 going that way, so we can do times 3. B is 15. 5 times 3 is 15, so B is 15. That's your answer. Guys, on the previous test, I saw people tell me that there was a pattern of 9 minus 6 is 3. We never find a pattern or a relationship using subtraction or addition. It has to always be multiplication or division. I've said it so many times. Please correct yourself if that's where you're going wrong. It's multiplication or division and using proportions. All right, switching gears again, we're doing assets, liabilities, and net worth this time. There are going to be, this is one of our most recent topics, so a couple of questions on this. Number 7, the table shows Jillian's net worth. Assets are shown as positive numbers. Why don't we, assets are shown as positives, liabilities are shown as negatives, so let me highlight that a different color. And in this, okay, there's more to this. Jillian's net worth is $90,500. Based on the information in the table, what is the amount of money Jillian owes for student loans? There's going to be several steps, so follow along on everything that I do. First thing I'm going to do is just remind ourselves of that formula. Assets, the net worth formula. Assets, total assets, all of your assets, that means things that you own, minus all the total liabilities, things that you're paying money on, things that you owe, equals net worth. NW for net worth. Okay, so first we have a missing number here, basically. That's the question. We're trying to figure that out. Let me label in this chart what the assets and liabilities are. They've already kind of told us that assets are positive numbers. So I'll put an A, 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 and A. And the liabilities are that one, that one. And of course, we are missing student loans. Student loans, that's a loan you're paying, that would be a liability, but we'll get to that later. Let's add up all of our assets. We have 87,900. That's the house. Checking account of 950. Automobile 10,300. 5,000 in investments, and savings of 2,450. These are all of the assets. I'm going to add everything up. When I added everything up, I got 106,600. Okay, so remember back to this formula up here. I'm going to put this number in the assets section. All of the assets were 106,600. In the question, it already tells us the net worth. So let's put that right here. 90,500. We just need to deal with the liabilities part now. So liabilities are the negative numbers here in the table. We have two negative numbers here. 2,650 and personal loans of 1,200. Let's add these. 6 plus 2 is 8 and 3. All right, so we've got 3,850 of the liability so far, but we actually have a missing liability right here. Student loans is a missing liability, and we need to figure out what this would be. If we put liabilities, the liabilities that we got so far, this number, the 3,850, in our liabilities, that's 850. Let's subtract that. It will not equal our net worth of 90,000 yet. 106,600 minus 3,850. That gives us, so this is, you're going to have to excuse, I'm bringing down this equation. When I do that subtraction, I get 102,750 on that side of the equation. But net worth, though, is 90,500. So student loans is going to be something else we need to subtract. So if we subtract these two numbers, the 102,750 minus the 90,000, we're going to get that difference there of what we're missing from the student loans. So let's just do this final subtraction. 102,750 minus 90,500 to get the missing number of the student loans. 90,500. I got 12,250. That would be the missing number, the student loans, and that is, of course, answer choice B. So you're going to want to have to hopefully you copy down all these steps, and you're going to want to keep this review next to you, because there's going to be a question like this on the test where there's a chart, a table, and there'll be one number missing, and you need to work backwards from the assets liabilities equation to find that missing number. Okay. Next one, this one's more straightforward. A table of Marcia's assets and liabilities is shown. What is her net worth? Simple question. Remember that formula again? Assets minus liabilities, total assets minus total liabilities equals net worth. They've listed them all out for us. They even told us that all of the assets added together, that's 95,891, and they listed all her liabilities and even told us the total there. All we have to do is plug in and subtract. So we have to do 95,891 minus 44,594. Do that subtraction, and I get 51,297. That is going to be the net worth. That's it. Straightforward. All right, moving on. Another topic that's on your test is budgets. There's just going to be one or two questions, and very similar to what I've got here, number 9 and 10. The Bowmans have a monthly income of $5,000. Which expense makes up 20% of their budget? So what they've actually done, which is nice, is added up everything. If they do not give you that, then that's the first step you need to do. So all of their categories added up. They're telling us that that total, that's their monthly income. Their monthly budget is $5,000. And the question is, which expense, so which category here, makes up 20% of their budget? What is 20% of 5,000 basically is what they're asking us. So we are going to have to, let's use our answer choices and let's look at our answer choices. Let's see mortgage first. Okay. Mortgage is 1,800. If you divide by 5,000, do we get 20%? If so, that would be our answer. So divide 1,800 divided by 5,000. I got 0.36, and that would be 36%. So obviously no, not mortgage. Let's try the next answer choice, utilities. Utilities, where's utilities? Utilities, right there, 1,000. Okay, $1,000 for utilities. If that's divided by 5,000, because you divide to get a percent, do we get 20%? Let's check it out. 1,000 divided by 5,000 is 0.2, which is 20%. Yay, so we got it. It is utilities. That's 20%. All right, number 10, and I think this one can be a little bit of an observation question. We may not have to do any math. Which two expenses, meaning which two categories, combined make up more than a half? I want you to understand that that fraction half means 50% or half. Which two categories, if you combine them, make up more than half of the Bowman's budget? As you can see, well, half of 5,000 is 2,500. So which two categories? Look at we only need to combine two. So it's going to be these two big ones, because those combined is 2,800, and that's more than half. That's more than 2,500. So it is mortgage and utilities. Oh, my handwriting is so terrible. Mortgage, utilities. All right, that's your answer there. There you go. The whole review is done with me working out every single question. Please use this to do well on the test. As usual, email me if you have any questions. Thank you, and bye-bye.